Have you ever watched the person you love become a stranger right before your eyes? I saw it in the faint blue light of her phone screen at 2 a.m., her thumb stroking the glass with a tenderness she hadn't shown me in years. Oh. Her face, illuminated in the dark of our Chicago bedroom, was a mask of secret smiles and stolen moments. I didn't know who she was texting, but I knew it wasn't me. That single, silent observation was the first crack in the dam. And I had a sickening feeling that a flood was about to wash my entire world away. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For 10 years, Sarah was my everything. We built a life in a brownstone just off Lincoln Park, the kind of life you see in magazines. I was a partner at an architecture firm. She was a rising star in marketing. We were the golden couple, the ones our friends envied. But gold can tarnish. It started subtly. She began working late. Her phone became an extension of her hand, always angled away from me. When I'd ask who she was talking to, it was always just work, a project, a demanding client. The excuses were smooth, practiced. She'd kiss my cheek, her lips cold, and tell me not to worry, but I did worry. I felt a growing chill in our home, a space that once felt so warm. She started criticizing me, my clothes, my friends, the way I loaded the dishwasher. It was a slow, deliberate campaign to create distance, to build a wall between us brick by brick. She was making me the villain in a story I didn't even know she was writing. Discovery wasn't a single dramatic moment. It was a slow, agonizing bleed. A credit card statement I opened by mistake showed a charge for a room at the Langham, a luxury hotel downtown, on a night she was supposedly at a work conference in Naperville. Then there were the whispers I overheard from one of her colleagues at a company party, a quick, hushed conversation about Sarah and Mark, the new creative director. Mark, he was smug, slick, the kind of guy who wore expensive suits and a condescending smile. They thought they were untouchable, moving through our shared world with an arrogance that made my blood run cold. The final piece fell into place when I installed a recovery app on her laptop. It wasn't a spy. It was a desperate act of self-preservation. And there it was. An entire universe of betrayal. Emails filled with graphic details of their encounters, plans for a future that didn't include me. They laughed about me, about how oblivious I was. Reading those words, my world didn't just crack, shattered. I sat there in my home office, the city lights of Chicago twinkling outside, and I felt a part of me die. The loyal husband was gone, and in his place, something cold and strategic began to form. My grief turned to ice. The man she knew, the patient, loving husband, was a ghost. I was now a predator, and she was my prey. For the next 2 months, I played the part of the devoted, slightly clueless husband she believed me to be. Every cold shoulder, every dismissive comment, I absorbed it and filed it away. I hired the most ruthless divorce attorney in Chicago, a shark named Arthur Vance, who specialized in high-asset infidelity cases. We met in his sterile, glass-walled office overlooking the river. I handed him a hard drive. "Everything is on there," I said, my voice devoid of emotion. Emails, hotel receipts, even a recording of them planning their trip to Miami. I want her to have nothing. Vance gave me a thin, predatory smile. "Son," he said, "we're going to leave her with nothing but regret." I also contacted a private investigator in Miami to have them on standby. The plan was simple, brutal, and public. I wasn't just going to divorce her. I was going to dismantle her life, piece by piece, in the very place she thought was her secret paradise. The day they left for Miami, Sarah gave me a perfunctory kiss goodbye, her eyes already distant, already on the beach with him. "I'll miss you," she lied, the words like ash in her mouth. "I'll miss you too," I replied, the irony so thick I could taste it. The moment her plane was in the air, my plan went into motion. I had the locks on our brownstone changed, had our joint accounts frozen, leveraging a clause in our prenup that Vance had unearthed related to infidelity. I drafted a formal notice to her company's HR department, complete with irrefutable proof of her affair with a direct superior, a clear violation of their corporate policy. The final piece was the most important. I booked a flight to Miami. I arrived at the resort, a sprawling, luxurious enclave of private bungalows and pristine white sand. The private investigator had already confirmed their room number. I waited until sunset, knowing they'd be on their private terrace, sipping champagne, basking in the glow of their deception. I walked up to the bungalow, my heart a cold, steady drum in my chest. Through the sheer curtains, I could see their silhouettes. They were laughing. I knocked on the door. Mark opened it, his smile faltering when he saw me. Confusion, then panic flickered in his eyes. "What are you doing here?" he stammered. I pushed past him. Sarah was standing there, her champagne flute halfway to her lips, her face a canvas of disbelief. "Hello, Sarah," I said calmly. Her name sounded like a foreign word. She started trembling, her eyes darting from me to the legal documents in my hand. "This can't be happening," she whispered. I tossed the divorce papers onto the table between them. "It is," I said, my voice as cold as the grave. "I know everything." Her face crumpled. The arrogant masks she had worn for months dissolved into pure, unadulterated terror. The private investigator emerged from the shadows, a camera flashing, capturing the moment of her complete and utter ruin. The aftermath was swift and merciless. Mark was fired immediately. Sarah was placed on indefinite leave, her career in tatters. She returned to Chicago to find herself locked out of her home. Her credit cards declined, her social circle evaporated. The friends who had once envied her now looked at her with pity and contempt. The legal battle was a formality. She had no leverage. She walked away with nothing but the clothes she had packed for her secret getaway. The last time I saw her, she was a ghost of the woman I had married, her confidence gone, replaced by a hollow, haunted look. There was no shouting, no final confrontation. There was only the quiet, crushing weight of consequence. Sometimes, late at night, I stand in the quiet of the house we once shared, and I think about her. I don't feel anger anymore, not even satisfaction. I just feel the profound, chilling silence of a life that was, and the cold, empty space where love used to be.